Now, are we good?
Yeah, now we're good. That was really wonky. All right, well, guys, sorry about that. Apparently,
every now and then it happens on OBS.
Apparently, we just went for a hot minute without talking to any of you guys, although our mouths were moving. You didn't have to hear about us scooping chili out.
It's like a Japanese horror movie.
Yeah, there was just a lot of weird things. We thought we were good and powered up. Apparently not, but we are back. Yeah, the Arizona Cardinals have announced, I believe, Kyler Murray's ACL tear was a clean tear.
Yeah, so he'll probably be
all
out
the way through
for a full year.
Yeah. That means Colt McCoy is the quarterback, at least for now.
My ACL.
I have a feeling they'll be drafting a quarterback in the, at least not the first round, obviously, probably second or third.
Do they have a first rounder this year?
They should, right? They didn't do any big trades, did they? Oh, they did do for Hollywood Brown, but I think those were only second round picks.
No, it was last year's first. That was last year's first thing for Hollywood Brown.
But I think they gave up this year's second.
2023 draft picks, please.
By the way, I'm already over draft season because they're comparing that kid from Kentucky to Josh Allen already. It's like I don't want, like, every year there's a Josh Allen. It's like, no, there's not.
Well, they don't have a 5th round pick this year.
Well, they do that to everybody.
Carson Strong was supposed to be Josh Allen.
They did that to...
He's not even in the league.
Yeah, but they always used to do that when there was Peyton Manning. He's like, oh, this guy's like Peyton Manning.
Morning, OG Jolie. They do have their first,
Jolie.
second, third, and fourth. We have their 5th.
What did we trade with them? We just move up.
The Cody Ford.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have a feeling they'll draft a quarterback though.
Currently,
Cardinals?
Yeah. Why would you not?
I mean, why
just
would you
because
not? Yeah,
you're going to be
he's
without
out
him
for a year, and then
Cliff Kingsbury's going to be on the hot seat next year, I think.
currently they'd be drafting 6th.
I've been watching some of the in-season HBO Max. What did you call it?
I need to watch that. Yeah.
What's it called? The Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
Hard Knocks,
yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty good with the Cardinals at least.
Can we discuss
Detroit one's good too.
the absolute flop that 3 teams have done here? Currently heading into this, 3 of the top 5 draft picks this year do not belong to the team that is in that position.
Yeah, Detroit has one.
Detroit's got the Rams. They're currently drafting 4th. The Eagles currently have the Saints pick. And
wow, that's going to be scary. If the Eagles can... They might... I mean, they probably won't need a receiver, though, but they'll probably go, like, pass rush or something.
Yeah. It's a strong pass rush draft. And the Seahawks have Denver's 2nd overall pick currently.
Which I would say go quarterback. Sorry. I like Geno, but, like...
They're talking about an extension.
Yeah, but he's not long-term, though.
I mean, if Seattle really wanted to, though, they could go quarterback at 16, and they could solidify the top need on the board at 2.
Right. You could probably go, like... I'm pretty sure they said that pass rush is
Will Anderson out of Bama.
One of the top 2 picks. And there's possibly a corner that's... I can't remember his name, but there's a corner that's going to be good.
Joey Porter?
Might be Joey Porter.
Joey Porter Jr., I think. I'm intrigued now who the top names...
It's crazy because, like, you and I are going to have to start doing our draft prep soon.
Very soon. They've currently got Bryce Young going 1.
Ew. To who?
To
Texans, right?
To Houston.
I mean, they need a quarterback.
They've got Seattle going quarterback with the kid from Kentucky, Will Levis. Will Anderson to Chicago. Jalen Carter's the other one from Georgia. Miles Murphy from Clemson. He's a defensive end. Keely Ringo's the top corner out of the class from Georgia. CJ Stroud going at 7. Oh, I hate it because I don't like CJ Stroud because it's another list of bad Ohio State quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. But putting him in Indy and watching them continue to fail would be great. Mm-hmm. Joe Lee says he would like to see the Bills upgrade the offensive line.
Oh, for sure.
Of course. We need to
center.
spend a first-round pick on an alignment.
On a center?
No. We need a tackle. Or a guard.
I was going to say it'd be nice to see Bijan Robinson to the Bills. Mm-hmm. Give me a true running back.
Yeah.
But this thinks he's going to go in the top 10.
Yeah.
Off of talent.
It's one of those drafts, I'm pretty sure, where like outside, like last year there was like 15 receivers you could go in the first round, and this year I think it's a little bit more defense, and I think teams need more offensive players than defensive players, so they're going to overreach on a running back.
This has Detroit going another defensive player in Jalen Carter and a tight end, and just locking in.
Oh yeah, there was saying what's the kid
from Notre Dame?
Yeah, Notre Dame.
Michael Mayer.
They're saying he's the next, not Gronkowski, but did they compare him to Kittle? Maybe.
Jason hates him.
Why he went to Notre Dame?
Yeah, that's the kid that lit up Clemson last year or 2 years ago. Yeah, I was still over on Henderson when he was really good. So he's been a long time coming. He's been talented for quite a few years. But anyhow. Marquise Elder-Brown, we talked about that illness, but he's expected to play. Marco Wilson, questionable. Antonio Hamilton, questionable. 2 cornerbacks. Another cornerback, and Byron Murphy, is out with a back injury. Rondell Moore, he's done for the year. He was placed on the IR. Defensive end Zach Allen is out as well. Charles Washington, safety, and offensive tackle Rashad Coward are questionable. The Atlanta Falcons, I have to roll with them this week, and I hate it.
Yeah.
I have a league where I had Kyler. I had to go get Desmond Ridder.
Why not? I mean, I think Ritter's going to put.
I'm fighting for a playoff spot. I had to.
Yeah.
I picked up Ridder and Baker. But Ritter's got a really good matchup this week. Marcus Mariota is done for the year with a knee injury. Desmond Ridder gets to prove if he's got it or not.
Yeah.
Offense tackle. I don't think he does either. We didn't love him, but offense tackle Chuma Edoga is out with a knee injury. Defensive tackle Taquan Graham is out with a knee injury. Center Matt Hennessy was placed on the IR. He's done for the year. Guard Jalen Mayfield also plays back to the IR. He will miss the rest of the year. You don't see that often.
No.
They opened his practice window, and he couldn't make it in time to finish his practice window, so he reverted back, and he's finished for the year. Not often you see somebody who actually can't make it through 3 weeks off of that and gets reverted.
Mm-hmm.
The Baltimore Ravens, they played yesterday, and they lost because they're bums. The Buffalo Bills, they played yesterday. They didn't lose. They're not bums. Fuck the Dolphins.
With the snowballs. You hit me with a snowball. We can't throw the sun. That's not fair.
Puss, puss, puss. Next time I show up at a sporting event and I can't handle the heat,
I love the snowballs. That shit was hilarious.
Carolina Panthers, they will play today. They have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they can beat the Steelers, actually. Did you know that they're undefeated since Sam Darnold took over?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And they're in the thick of it for that division.
I hope they win just so that we don't see Brady in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They deserve to be in the playoffs with a record like that.
Well, none of those teams deserve to be in the playoffs realistically.
Yeah, but Tom Brady getting a home playoff game when his team is Cheeks, come on. That dude gets gifted everything.
Yes. Can we discuss that might be the most injured team in football at quarterback?
Who?
I know, like, Kyler's out and all that, but Carolina.
Yeah, right.
Matt Corral went to the IR for the season.
What did he get hurt with? It was like a foot injury, right?
Yeah,
it was the Liz Frank?
That might have been a Liz Frank. Because he was in a walking boot through October.
Yeah.
PJ Walker out again with an ankle. You had Sam Darnold, who was on the IR for the first 9 weeks of the season. Mm-hmm. You had Baker struggle with injuries there from time to time. And now you literally have one healthy quarterback in Sam Darnold. I don't even know who their backup currently is. Because PJ Walker's out again. Linebacker Brandon Smith was placed on the IR. His season's done. Wide receiver DJ Moore, he's got an ankle going on. What is this? Ooh. The NFL's working on extending the trade deadline for next year.
Oh.
To make it later in the season.
Well, it would make sense if you got an extra week, technically.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they're trying to make it like 2 or 3 weeks later. To be fair, isn't the trade deadline like before the halfway point of the season?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, in other sports,
it's always right
it's
before
always,
the playoffs.
It's shortly before the playoffs, so you know. Which I think that would make sense. I guess you're looking at somebody like Carolina. Carolina sold the bus, not thinking they'd be around, and now they've put together this run, and they're missing 2 players that they moved. So like,
Yeah.
so for somebody like Carolina, you're like, oh, I mean, yeah, I got some picks out of it, but I could have gotten more, and I could be alive. Laviska Shenault is questionable with a shoulder. Safety Xavier Woods, not the wrestler. He's questionable with a knee injury. That'll do it for Carolina. Chicago plays today. We'll loosely say plays today. They're playing Philadelphia. They're going to get throttled.
Yeah.
Trayvon Westco, tight end, he's out with a calf injury. Wide receiver N'Keal Harry's questionable with a back. Cornerback Kindle Vador is questionable. Offensive tackle Larry Borum is doubtful. Wide receiver Chase Claypool out with a knee injury. Safety Eddie Jackson, he is done for the season. He was placed in the IR with his foot injury. Looks like Khalil Herbert's expected back in time for the Bills game next week. Is it bad that Khalil Herbert reminds me of Tariq Cohen? He's just kind of the same running back. Like, he's there, he's explosive in the return. He's not really meant to be the number 1 back in the league.
You're talking about Khalil Herbert?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reminds me very much of Tariq Cohen. I think it's just he's in the same team, but... Cincinnati Bengals, Tyler Boyd with his finger issue is expected to suit up. T. Higgins with his hamstring injury is also expected to suit up this week. Cornerback Jalen Davis is doubtful with a thumb. Wide receiver Trent Taylor questionable with a hamstring. Tight end Hayden Hurst is out with a calf injury. Cornerback Mike Hilton is out with a knee injury. Defensive end Trey Hendrickson is out with a wrist injury. Safety Brandon Wilson out with a knee injury. Man, since he's kind of banged up here. It's a big game that they kind of want to have, especially after seeing Baltimore lose yesterday, and they're hurt. Cleveland played yesterday. They're a bunch of bums. It's an ugly win.
Very ugly.
Good thing they picked up Jalen Darden only to continue to not play him.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys, Dorrance Armstrong is questionable with an ankle. Tight end Jake Ferguson's out with a concussion. Offensive tackle Terrence Steele, he was placed on the IR. He has a torn ACL. Defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins placed on the IR with a pec injury. His season's done. Quarterback Anthony Brown, he was placed on the IR with an Achilles. His season's also done. Dallas is a little bit more injured than it appears here. Denver Broncos. They have the Cardinals. That's going to be like the worst game of the year. Denver and Arizona.
Yeah.
And with Kyler Murray hurt.
Starting defensive end Draymond Jones, he's done for the year with a hip injury. Guard Dalton Risner is questionable. Tight end Andrew Beck is questionable. Linebacker Dakota Allen's questionable. Defensive tackle DJ Jones is questionable. Wide receiver Cortland Sutton is out. Wide receiver Kendall Hinton is out. Quarterback Russell Wilson is out. You're literally watching.
Russell's out too.
Yeah, Russ and Kyler Murray are out.
So who they got started for?
Brett Ripon to Jerry Jeudy. That's all that Denver has.
I know.
Well, to be fair, I have a feeling you're going to see a lot of Brett Ripon to Greg Dulcich today.
Yeah.
Arizona's 32nd in the league against tight end. They're booty cheeks.
Yeah.
Greg Dulcich has had 8 targets the last 2 weeks. I think you're going to see that go up to 10. He's going to have some benefit there to playing with a backup quarterback. Detroit Lions, Detroit Rock City defensive end Michael Brockers is out with an illness. That's interesting. Running back Justin Jackson is questionable with illness. Linebacker Derek Barnes is out with a knee injury. Guard Coyote Awasika is out with an ankle. Fullback Jason Kaminda is questionable with an ankle. Quarterback Mike Hughes is questionable with an illness. Defensive end Aiden Hutchinson questionable with an illness. That whole team's apparently sick.
Stop having
orgies.
COVID parties.
Center Frank Ragnow questionable. That'll do it for Detroit. Green Bay, they're bums. Big news though if you're Green Bay. David Bakhtiari is not playing today. I hope they get throttled tomorrow.
They need a receiver.
They have a receiver. Christian Wilkinson is great.
He's pretty good.
Frank, his name is Watson.
I'm a Watson.
Linebacker Tipu Galea is also on the IR. I found an Aaron Jones t-shirt at Kohl's yesterday. Like a Green Bay Packers player shirt at Kohl's.
A
Yeah.
little bit unrelated, though, but did you see Deion Sanders' son in the last game at Jackson State?
No.
30 for 40, 353 yards, and 5 total touchdowns. And now he's transferring to Colorado.
Oh, he was going to transfer to Colorado. Dude, he walked into Colorado and cleaned house. They rescinded every scholarship they had
I
offered.
hope this kid's good. I mean, he's still going to a D1 school, but like Jackson State to the Pac-12. I mean, I hope he just tears it up.
Yeah. Definitely.
It'll be something to talk about. Isn't he a sophomore?
I think he's still young. Yeah.
I think he's a sophomore. Houston Texans, Derek Stingley Jr., his season is over. Running back Dameon Pierce, his season is over. Defensive tackle Taylor Stallworth, his season's over. Guard Kenyon Green, he's out with an ankle injury. That was their first-round rookie.
Like Fox.
Why?
Season's over.
Season's over. Quarterback Steven Nelson, he's out with an ankle. Wide receiver Brandon Cooks and wide receiver Nico Collins are both out for today's game as well. Guard Justin McCray is questionable. It sounds like Houston's just mailing it. They're done.
Yeah.
They've accepted the first overall pick. They'll take their trophy. Who was it they beat?
Wasn't it? No, who the fuck was it?
That who beat?
Houston.
It was a big team, wasn't it? Because they...
No, wasn't it Indy?
No, they tied with Indy.
No, that's right. They tied with it. Yeah.
They beat the Jags.
That was my. I was gonna say the Jags was my next
13-6.
Oh, I was gonna say they almost beat Dallas.
They almost beat Dallas. They almost beat the Titans. They were in the game with the Bears. They gave Denver one of its only 3 wins. And neither team scored over 17 points.
That's great.
But yeah, Houston's just miserably bad.
I mean, that's why a lot of the players left that organization.
Indianapolis, they played, and they suck. They blew a 33-point lead.
Then it's now the biggest blown lead in NFL history, and that quarterback also owns the biggest Super Bowl loss.
I would definitely
to
eat
the
a whole
same thing.
Patel roll probably on live.
Spare change? Spare change. Fire up Chris Moore. Yes, Ryan, big time fire up Chris Moore. He had 11 catches for 125 yards last week.
I really wanted him to tie. First team with 2 ties in NFL history. Would have been hilarious.
That team's just tremendously bad. Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm sorry. Somebody asked Josh Allen last night, how do you handle this? It's cold out here. And Josh Allen goes, this is nothing. I wish it was colder on live TV.
That's funny. A little bit of salt in the wound.
Ice in his veins, like straight up, bro. He's funny.
Jacksonville Jaguars. That's going to be possibly...
That's funny.
That's really funny. Jacksonville Jaguars possibly have the biggest game for them for the season.
Yeah,
this is it. They need this win.
Can win out and win that division if
they can still win the division, but a win here is a statement and a step in the right direction because Tennessee does not have an easy matchup today. Yes, I know it's Dallas, but Dallas stumbled and almost threw up on themselves last week against Houston. If Dallas ain't in the right mindset, Jacksonville can steal this one, and they've been playing hot.
And Jacksonville's known to steal one of those games out of nowhere too.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence is playing still with the toe injury, but he's played the last 2 weeks with that toe injury, and he's looked pretty damn good in the process. Linebacker Chad Muma, he is
with a bad toe.
Questionable with an ankle. Linebacker Trayvon Walker, questionable with an ankle. Cornerback Darius Williams, questionable. Safety Andrew Wingard, questionable. Guard Brandon Scherf, questionable. Other than that, nobody out. I think that's my bet. That's my underdog of the day. Jacksonville takes it. Kansas City Chiefs. McCole Hardman was not activated yet off the IR. Kadarius Toney is questionable with a Swiss cheese hamstring, but he's expected to play. Defensive tackle Chris Jones, questionable with an illness, and that does it for Kansas City. I think they could bench their entire team, though. They're playing the Houston Texans. Las Vegas Raiders, Jermaine Elamanur. That's probably not how it says, but it looks right. Questionable with an injury. Josh Jacobs, questionable with a hand and quad injury for the Patriots game.
Is he expected to play?
He plans to play. Doesn't mean he will, but he plans to. Guard Alex Bars out with a knee injury. Defensive tackle Andrew Billings, questionable with a lower leg injury. Never seen something listed as that.
Yeah.
Linebacker Denzel Perryman, questionable with a hip. Cornerback Rock Yassin out with a knee. Offensive tackle Jackson Barton, questionable. That'll do it for the Raiders.
You should move him to a flex then in case he gets out.
LA Chargers, Bryce Callahan. Oh, shit. Questionable with a groin. Offensive tackle Trey Pipkins III, questionable with a knee. Frank the 3, got it. Defensive tackle Sebastian Joseph Day, questionable with a knee. Safety Derwin James is doubtful for this week's game against the Titans. They didn't need him last week, though.
Yeah.
One of the premier safeties in the league still missed the game.
Yeah.
And they still beat the Dolphins because the Dolphins suck. LA Rams, John Wolford, he's out. Linebacker Traven Howard is out. Defensive tackle Marquise Copeland is out. You know, I'm not going to say that I want to root for Baker, but I hope Baker comes out and continues the story and beats the shit out of the Packers on live TV on Monday.
Yeah.
Quarterback David Long Jr., he's out with a groin. Defensive tackle Aaron Donald will not play. That's huge.
That is huge, yeah.
Missing Aaron Donald with an ankle injury, missing the Packers game. They've mailed it in. They don't really care. But I'm sure they'd rather not give up a top 5 pick, so you'd think they'd want to keep winning. Center Brian Allen, questionable. As noted, Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford, Allen Robinson, they're done for the year. Miami Dolphins played last night, and they sucked. I don't know why Jeff Wilson Jr. was out, but not genius on their end. Minnesota Vikings, they overcame a lot yesterday, and they won. And they didn't even have their starting center. Irv Smith Jr. close to returning.
Yeah.
That's something for them. That would be actually something very impressive. Ross Blacklock is with Minnesota. Why did I not know that?
I don't know.
He was a high-end Houston defensive tackle a couple years ago they drafted. New England Patriots, Ramondre Stevenson is questionable. Will be a game-time decision for today.
I need him to play.
Good luck. I honestly would be something where I'd be looking to fire up...
well, it's Dynasty.
I know, but I'd be looking to fire up Pierre Strong.
I don't think I have him.
You didn't get him?
No.
I didn't get him either, I don't think. But I like Pierre Strong this week. Even if Stevenson does play, I think he's going to have limited reps, so I still like Pierre Strong. He had a nice game last week. Did you see his stat line?
No.
You know who that is, right? It's a kid from South Dakota we really liked. 5 rushes, 65 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, that's nice.
Kid's got breakaway speed. Offensive tackle Isaiah Wynn was placed on the IR. His season's done. Wide receiver Jacoby Meyer, questionable with concussion. Running back Damian Harris, out yet again with a thigh injury. Cornerback Jack Jones, somebody that they're calling the best corner of the class this past year. He's questionable with a knee injury. How does Bill Belichick always pull these late-round cornerbacks out of his ass?
I don't know, dude.
Cornerback Jalen Mills out with a groin. Long snapper Joe Cardona, questionable. Wide receiver Devontae Parker out with a concussion. Offensive tackle Yadni Kajuste, questionable. Where the hell was he drafted?
He's I don't know who that is. Ryan's got him. Not Pisner.
Holt Bailey? That was a 4th round pick for the Patriots. out of Arizona State. He's a JUCO kid. He might have had issues off the field. Yeah. Yep, that's some big issues. He got thrown out of USC.
Whoa.
And he was arrested on June 8th of 2018 for commercial burglary, a second-degree misdemeanor, and served 45 days house arrest. He was a USC starting cornerback, had to go the JUCO route after getting kicked out, went to Moore Park State, and then went to Arizona State once he cleared up the reputation issues. Wow. That's literally the same story as J.C. Jackson, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like somebody who got in deep shit, the Patriots found him, said, "Screw your issues, we'll take a flyer." So that's the rule. Just draft criminals.
I mean, we used to do it. And draft
ours didn't go well.
We used to have all of them. I mean, allegedly, with O.J. Simpson, but...
Oh. New Orleans Saints linebacker Zach Bond, he's been placed on the IR. His season's over. Linebacker Pete Werner, Fat Werner's Deb, he's questionable with an ankle. Defensive end Peyton Turner, questionable with an ankle. Running back Dwayne Washington, questionable with an illness. Cornerback Marshawn Lattimore, questionable with an abdomen. Cornerback P.J. Williams, out with a knee. Tight end Adam Troutman, questionable with an ankle. Tight end Jawan Johnson, questionable with an ankle. If he's playing today, he's a nice play on FanDuel or prop bets.
Yeah.
Jawan Johnson might have a nice day. Safety J.T. Gray, questionable. New York Giants Josh Iziodua, placed in the IR. His season's over with a neck injury. Guard Shane Lemieux, out with a toe injury. Defensive end Leonard Williams, questionable with a neck. Cornerback Nick McLeod for Buffalo Bill, he's questionable with an illness. Cornerback Adoree Jackson, out with a knee. Tight end Dan Bellinger, questionable with rib injury. That dude has had a rough year.
Did you see what I put on there?
We're gonna patent the newest game.
Oopsie cushion.
But you sit on it and it spins, and he spins in a circle, and if it detonates while you're on it, oopsie. New York Jets Quentin Williams, questionable with a calf injury, is going to be a true game time decision. Safety Lamarcus Joyner, questionable with a hip injury. Cornerback Brandon Eccles is out with a quad. Quarterback Mike White tried to get cleared by 10 doctors. They would not clear him for his fractured ribs. He's out. Quarterback, wide receiver Corey Davis out with a concussion. Offensive tackle Max Mitchell out with non-football injury. Oh, wow.
What?
Blood clots from his calf to his lungs.
Yeah, that's not good.
Who was that?
Offensive tackle Max Mitchell. The Philadelphia Eagles, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They acquired him from the New Orleans Saints. He's been placed on the IR. He's done for the season. Tight end Dallas Goedert is about a week away from being fired up. He should be back. Safety Reed Blankenship is out with a knee injury. Pittsburgh Steelers, Miles Jack. I forgot he was there.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Questionable with a groin injury. Quarterback Kenny Pickett is out with his concussion. Mason Rudolph is angry that he's not being given the start. That's a real thing.
Mason Rudolph's ass.
Yeah, he's not done much besides getting hit in the head with a helmet.
Yeah, pretty much.
That then got spoofed by a loser who doesn't know football.
Trubisky's getting the start?
Who's got the first pick? Yes, Trubisky is getting the start. Which is probably a good thing if you're a Deontay Johnson owner, because Johnson had 10 targets last week.
I like Trubisky too.
Yeah. San Francisco 49ers, they won on Thursday. We don't have to talk about them. Seattle Seahawks, they lost on Thursday. Tyler Lockett might be back, actually.
They said probably out 1 week.
Yeah, he underwent finger surgery, but he might be back. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tristan Wirfs, questionable with an ankle. Sean Murphy Bunting, questionable with a quad. Linebacker Joe Tryon Shoyinka, questionable with a hip. Safety, Mike Edwards, questionable with a hamstring. Safety, Antoine Winfield Jr., always questionable, this time an ankle. Wide receiver Julio Jones, questionable with a knee. Linebacker Gennard Avery is out with an abdomen injury. Cornerback Jamel Dean is out with a toe injury. Linebacker Carl Nassib is out with a pec injury. Defensive tackle Vita Vey is out. Man, rough. They're hurt.
Yeah.
Evens the playing field. Both those teams are really injured. Tennessee Titans wide receiver C.J. Board is placed in the IR. His season's done. Running back Dontrell Hilliard, he was placed in the IR. His season's done. Excuse me. Cornerback Trey Avery, he's out with a concussion. Safety Amani Hooker, he's out with a knee injury. Cornerback Christian Fulton, he's out with a groin. Defensive end Danico Autry, he's out with a knee. Wide receiver Treylon Burks, he's out with a concussion. Linebacker Zach Cunningham was designated to return from the IR. Tennessee is really injured.
Yeah,
it's
really
all defense. And the last team, Washington Commanders, Chase Young, questionable with a knee injury, is not expected to play today. I would assume that's still from the prior knee injury. Wide receiver Cam Sims, questionable with a back injury. Cornerback Benjamin St. Juste, questionable with an ankle. Offensive tackle Sadiq Charles, he's out with a concussion. That'll do it. That will do it.
It's a big list for a couple teams there.
Pick'ems. Since we don't have much to talk, we have less games to talk about, shall we say? Because we had 4 happen already. Baltimore Ravens really only scored 3 points yesterday. That's embarrassing.
I know.
Then
Well,
again,
they don't have the money.
then again, the Dolphins almost made that a game. So, the Jalen Waddle touchdown. It's crazy. What do you say we start here? Atlanta and New Orleans.
For the Falcons.
I'm going to go Falcons as well.
I'm going to go with the Falcons.
Philadelphia and Chicago.
Philly.
Should be Philly by a
yeah.
lot.
By a lot, yeah.
Man, Jalen Waddle kept me in it at least. This could be a tough game. Dallas, Jacksonville. I'm going to go Jacksonville. I'm going to go upset.
I've got Dallas.
I'd like to see Jacksonville win it.
I'd like to see Jacksonville win it,
I
but
think
I got
they could.
Dallas.
I think
Dallas
they can
is
pull
a
it
little
off.
bit overrated.
Dallas hasn't been playing up to snuff. Detroit and New York.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'm gonna go Detroit.
Which New York?
Yeah, I'm
The
going
Jets.
Detroit.
I'm gonna go with Detroit here, especially given that Zach Wilson's gonna have to throw the ball to win that game.
Right.
Yeah.
Detroit's been scoring like 30-something points a game.
And
Jets don't do that.
they have one of the best run defenses in the league. Their passing offense or passing defense is atrocious. But yeah, I think Detroit's gonna and the Jets are the favorite in that game. Pittsburgh, Carolina. I'm gonna go Carolina.
I'm going to go Carolina as well. Mitch Trubisky isn't very good, and they haven't been able to get Najee going this year, so...
Kansas City Chiefs, Houston Texans.
Should be the Chiefs.
Should be
I
the
hate
Chiefs.
to say it, but
It could be a trap game, but it should be the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are just going to trounce them. Mm-hmm. New England Patriots and Las Vegas Raiders. This might be the toughest one on the schedule this week.
I have the Raiders.
I think the Pats are going to win.
I think the Pats are going to win
They're
as well.
not... Like, both teams are pretty bad, but I think the lesser...
The lesser of the worst teams is... Yeah. Arizona Cardinals, Denver Broncos.
Now that Kyler's out.
You know what? I'm going to finally go Denver to this one.
Yeah, I think Kyler's out Denver.
I don't think they're going to be able to score.
Yeah, I'm going to say defense. It's going to be like a 10 to 3 battle.
It's going to be gross.
It's going to be an awful game. Tennessee, LA, Chargers.
Chargers.
I'm going to say Chargers.
Chargers, they need to keep it competitive.
Because they can still eke into the playoffs. And I think for Jacksonville needs to hope Tennessee loses this game as well. Right. Cincinnati Bengals, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Bengals.
I'm going to go Bengals.
Yeah, Bengals.
New York Giants, Washington Commanders. This game's the prime time
The Giants.
game.
I'm gonna go Commanders.
I'm gonna go Commanders as well here. And then Monday night, LA Rams, Green Bay Packers.
Hate to say it, but the Packers.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be the Packers.
I'm gonna go Rams. Baker played well last time. I'm gonna go Rams.
I hope it's the Rams. I'd love to see Frank cry into his cream of something.
I only have the Packers winning by a touchdown.
I mean, that sounds right. But all right, guys, that'll do it for today. 45 minutes. We've gotten pretty good at this whole pick-up rhyme and rhythm. Any questions, drop them in the comments. We'll try to answer them before game time. Go Bills.
Oh, yeah.
Wish it were colder.
Stamp everything know about that, me.
Fuck you, Dolphin.
Fuck you, Dolphin. Until next time, guys, you keep on looking for those fantasy beasts. We'll show you exactly where to find them. Peace out, guys.